Now, let's talk about Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine wrote the pamphlet, what? Common Sense. So let's highlight Thomas Paine and Common Sense. And what you'll remember is that, or what you should remember, is that the writing of the Declaration of Independence. So then we can come down to the Declaration was the author of the Declaration of Independence. So let's highlight the Declaration of Independence and that it was written by Thomas Jefferson. We're going to highlight the Declaration of Independence and that it was written by Thomas Jefferson. So let's go back. John Locke equals what? Social contract and natural rights. And basically, like it says on your review packet, he challenged British rule. So Thomas, what? Individual rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, Thomas Jefferson then wrote the Declaration of Independence, who the Declaration of Independence were based on ideas from who? John Locke and Thomas Paine. Okay? And we want to go back and remember that Benjamin Franklin was a diplomat and he negotiated a treaty with France, okay? And this is during the Revolutionary War we're talking about, okay? All right. So, now, let's scroll over to the Constitution. All right? What do you guys...
I know they made it because they didn't want the...
Okay. So the Articles of Confederation came about simply because Britain was what? The king. The king ruled Britain. And so they wanted a weak central government. Remember, and you need to take note of this, central, federal, and national government are all the same thing. Those terms may be used interchangeably. So where it says afraid of a strong central government, I want you to write federal and national also, okay? Because I want you to know that those terms can be used interchangeably. Because a lot of times people get confused when they see central government and they think central government, federal government, and national government. Okay. The Articles of Confederation were weak. What you really need to know is why the Articles of Confederation were weak. Do you remember any of the reasons why without looking?
Oh, no.
Okay. One of the biggest things, because y'all love money. So one of the biggest things is that there was no common currency. So highlight no common currency. And beside currency, I want you to put dollar signs because that means there was no common or universal money. So that means Virginia would have their own money, North Carolina would have their own money, New York would have their own money. Everybody had different money. So no common getting the money you can't tax because you have no common currency. Also, we just talked about tax. Congress had no power to tax or regulate commerce. Well, if you can't tax and you can't regulate what? Commerce, trade, and buying and stuff, what do you have? Nothing. And if you don't have money, your government gonna go, good, all right. It was only one branch, and that was the legislative branch, which is what? The lawmaking body. And I want you to write that. That's a government term, but I want you to know that the legislative branch is the lawmaking body. So, you have a lawmaking body running everything. You don't have anybody to enforce the laws. You don't have anybody to interpret the laws. That's chaotic.
That's when they came out with judicial and executive?
That's when they began, and we're going to get there next. That's how the Constitution started to become into play, and we're going to get into that. So, you had no common currency, a one-branch government, and Congress had no power to tax or regulate commerce. Weak. Articles of Confederation were weak. All right. Now, we're going to start talking about how we got to the Constitution that we have today. So, there was so much controversy about the...
So, is that when they came up with the Bill of Rights? And they just
we're getting ready to talk to that. We're getting ready to talk about that now. So now we're going to talk about the Constitutional Convention. And what you need to know is that George Washington was the president of the Constitutional Convention. And you can abbreviate that. GW was the president. And at the Constitutional Convention, that's when we began to talk about states versus federal power. Okay? So what you want to do is highlight states versus federal power. We want to highlight the representation in Congress, which is how we got the 2 House legislatures. We also had to discuss how slaves were a population. And that's when we came up with the 3 branches of government with checks and balances. Now, tell me something. Who can describe checks and balances for me?
It's when you give the government stuff they can and cannot do.
Okay. You can say this law is unconstitutional. It's not right, President. I know in today's society it doesn't look like that's happening, but the president can't be stopped. Congress can't be stopped. We can stop Congress by vetoing the law that they present to me as the president. That's still the process, and I know, like I said, it doesn't look like that, but that's still the process. So because of the key issues and resolutions that are here, that's how we got to the United States Constitution that we have today. So the important people that you need to remember relative to the Constitution are James Madison. Was the father of the Constitution. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Where you wrote GW was the president of the Constitutional Convention, I want you to write father country.
I got another question.
Uh-huh.
Did James Madison come right?
He was the author of the Virginia Plan, which kind of led to, the development of the Bill of Rights. He drafted the Bill of Rights. But the Bill of Rights, actually, and we can go ahead and discuss it, the Bill of Rights came from the ideas of Thomas Paine and John Locke. Because remember, they believed in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that people have natural rights. Well, the 10 Bill of Rights come from those natural rights.
So George Washington had nothing to do with the
convention. So basically, he was the head honcho. He was the facilitator. Today, this is the Constitutional Convention. I'm George Washington. And you guys are helping me draft, you're my Ben Franklin, okay? Got it? You're my, you're my John Locke and Thomas Paine, because your ideas, we've been talking.
Okay.
And your ideas are influencing the Constitution, okay? All right. So then that's how we got the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. Guys, I need you to know, Federalists and Anti-Federalists were not political parties. You need to know that. The Federalists, and just in this part of it, babies, is common sense. The Federalists believed in strong national government. Think about it, federal. Not. They believed in states having the power.
How would states have the power over a whole country?
No. This is how you have to understand it. It's just like now. That's why how much do y'all remember about Medicaid expansion?
So I gave Bill a sign-in sheet.
Okay.
So if you have any more,
Okay.
But I'll have time sheets. I think that has to be filled out on Monday with Dandridge.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So how much do you guys remember about hearing the conversation about Medicaid expansion, Obamacare? So Obamacare was a federal mandate, right?
Yeah.
But states had the right to choose to buy in. Federalists would have been like, Obamacare and that's it. Anti-federalists would have been like, no, I'm opting out because the states need power. So those are called reserved powers. And you can write that here. Powers are powers that are given to the state, okay? Reserved powers. Excuse me, baby. Okay? All right, let's see here.